Hello, it's Kyle, and today I have a special treat because I get the honor of reviewing Wingless by Cydney Lawson. And yes, this is the same Cindy who's a member of WeReadBooks. She just published her first book, just posted the link on our website a few days ago for people to buy copies. I bought it first day, got it a couple days later, and I read the book in about a day, so I'm excited to be the first member of WeReadBooks. To get a chance to review this book. I really enjoyed it a lot. Cindy's obviously a very talented young author. I really enjoyed it, and I'd encourage everybody that sees this review to go buy a copy of her book. Currently, like I said, you can purchase it from a website she set up, so I'll post a link below in the description box for you to follow the link and buy a copy of the book. Strongly encourage you to do it. Like I said, I think it's she's a very talented young author, and it's a great way to kind of show support for somebody who's beginning their literary career by buying a book. So purchase Wingless by Cydney Lawson. I think you'll enjoy it and will be well worth your money. So now to kind of give the review of it. The basic plot, and I won't go into too much details because I don't want to ruin the book for anybody. First, I will mention Cydney, in the first part of this book, does make clear this is book one of the Last of the Fallen trilogy. So obviously she has 2 more books planned for this series. So it's not a standalone book. So because of that, like I said, I can't get into too much details, especially at the end, because there's some important plot twists. You know, if I get into too much details, it'll ruin the storyline for you and ruin the next 2 books in the series for you. So I'll kind of give you the basic overview of what the story behind Wingless is. The basic concept, which I found very, very interesting, is when the book starts out, the setting is heaven. The Creator has created the world, and He has populated heaven with angels to kind of watch over the world. And the angels do this. They try not to intervene very much. And after a certain period of time, the angels become aware of humans that are being born on earth with special abilities. The angels turn these, the prestigious ones, and they believe these humans are so important that they actually go to earth, take these humans when they're kids, and bring them to heaven so they can live there. And for a while this works out. There's the prestigious ones, the humans with abilities, and the angels kind of live together, but eventually the prestigious ones begin to outnumber the angels, and there starts to be a little tension, and the humans, the prestigious ones, basically overthrow the angels, and they take over heaven. And the angels become kind of, I guess you could say, the servants or workers for these prestigious ones. And the prestigious ones begin to build their idea of what a utopian society is like in heaven. And first, they changed the name of heaven to Fismoof, which I don't know if that's how Cydney wants people to pronounce it, but that's how I'm guessing. And like I said, the prestigious ones begin to build this perfect society. And at the same time, they keep monitoring the earth. Anytime they sense a child that's born with these special abilities, they take the child through a process of what they call grabbing, which I don't want to ruin describing the process of my own, so just read the book and you'll get to read about that process. But basically those kids are grabbed from earth and brought to Fismoof, where they're raised by the prestigious ones to kind of learn to take advantage of their abilities. And there's different kinds of abilities that different people will have. They kind of divide the society in Fismoof into these classes of what kind of abilities you have and stuff. I will mention this is the part of the book I really enjoyed the most, probably, is Cydney's description of Fismoof, and also just the layout of it. So many times when you get these, fantasy books or books that are describing some mythical land or society, a lot of times they skimp on the details, or they're not very descriptive of how everything's laid out and how it looks. Cydney does an excellent job. You have a really, really detailed description of how this society works. And then, even though there's not a map in this book, she describes the layout of Fismoof so much that you almost feel like you could go to a piece of paper, draw out a map, and then you could compare it what Cydney was thinking, and it'd probably be the exact same thing. She describes it very, very well. So I enjoyed that part of it much, because sometimes, like the authors will mention this mythical area, and they just don't describe it. So you just have all these questions that are never answered. So I enjoyed getting all that info. So like I said, the prestigious ones have created this kind of perfect society, and our story revolves around a specific prestigious one named Tane. She is a female prestigious one. and she's given the task of being sent to Earth to retrieve a human that has been sent by the prestigious ones who has extremely powerful abilities and has lived on Earth much longer than they normally let people do with these abilities. She's went undetected, and the prestigious ones feel it's so important they have to get this person up to Fizmoof right away that Tain is selected to go retrieve this person. So very early in the book, it's involved Tain being cast down from what we view as heaven and landing in Earth. So the opening of the book is her encounter with a human named Charlie, and basically how they encounter is Tain falls from heaven and lands in his front yard, and he's confronted what he thinks is well, first he's not sure exactly what's going on, and eventually he begins to think she's an angel or whatever, and he gets confused. For a large part of the book is Tain and Charlie trying to understand where each is coming from. Even though Tain, like all prestigious ones, were originally born on Earth, through the process of their training, they begin to forget their childhood, so they don't really remember much about Earth. And Charlie, of course, is trying to figure out, what exactly is heaven? Is it like what we read in our religious books, or how is it different? So you get that process very early on. And eventually Charlie is so, entranced by Tain that he wants to help her out with her mission. Once he really becomes convinced through her showing some of her abilities that she really is who she says she is, and she's really from where she said she was. Charlie agrees to help Tain with her mission of finding this prestigious one who has been kind of lost on Earth and hasn't been taken up to Fizmoof yet. So that's really as detailed as I'll get into the plot of that, because like I said, I don't want to really ruin any of the plot points. I will mention a few things I think Cydney did really, really well on this. One is Tain discovering her humanity. Through the process of humans being taken to Fizmoof, they have special abilities, they're really stripped of their humanity, and they really become almost, you could almost say, robotic. They don't have much emotions and stuff, because everything's stripped down so they can fully take advantage of their special abilities. So part of it is Charlie kind of re-exposing Tain to her humanity, which I really enjoyed. It's this slow process of Tain kind of rediscovering what it is really like to be human. On the same side, Charlie, which I almost describe as a bit of an outcast, maybe not quite, I guess you could say, doesn't fit very well into society. He has a few little quirks and stuff about him. Is that Tain really helps Charlie begin to find himself. So I really enjoyed seeing that process of those two characters kind of learning from each other. The other item of this story I really enjoyed a lot is that Cydney tells the story from multiple points of view. So at certain points of the book, you're hearing the story through Charlie's mind and how he's viewing the actions. Other parts of the book, you're viewing it through Tain's point of view. Some other sections, you're viewing it from another prestigious one, Gaius. So I kind of enjoyed that multiple point of views. I like books like that, because sometimes when you don't get that, you're just hearing a story from one point of view, you kind of feel like you're missing out on a part of the story. So I really like when books do that. I thought Cydney did an excellent job with that. The one thing I might have changed was I would have minded hearing a part of the story from the angel's point of view, because like I said, this Cydney's reality she's created, the angels have basically become servants or workers, or you could maybe even classify them as slaves to these prestigious ones in heaven. So you really don't get much of the storyline from their point of view. They are in the story, but you never really hear what they're thinking about what's going on. So I would have a mind of hearing what they thought of the action, but like I said, that is a very small, minor critique. Other than that, I really, really enjoyed the book. I'm really looking forward to the second book. I'm hoping Cydney is very well along the process of writing the second book, because I'd rather not wait a long time to hear what happens in book 2 of this trilogy. So like I said, I really enjoyed Wingless. It gets my full recommendation, 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10, however you want to rank it. I highly recommend it, as I often say. So Wingless by Cydney Lawson. Again, I'll have the link in the description box for where you can buy the book. Buy the book. Show your support to Cydney. She's a talented author, and I'm sure she'll appreciate every single book that is purchased. So Wingless by Cydney Lawson. Hope you'll buy the book, and I hope you'll read it, and hope you'll enjoy it. And hopefully soon I'll get to review book 2 in this trilogy. So I hope you enjoyed the review.